multiple videos. But let's jump in here and give you a little piece of this one. All right, so that's been enhanced. And we'll go from the enhancement. Before we do that, let's jump into some video content that was there. Let's do a narrative over some of the screenshots. I gotta be careful of not narrating a couple of pieces in here I don't want to narrate about. I have my own reasons. But once you notice the level of the flower pots here, the elevation, how they're all configured nice and cleanly. And we already talked about the surprise back here, where the flower pot in the back is flat. It's flat. Now, I'm trying to figure out a way to communicate here. So I'm not sure. You know, I get a lot of contact from people, engineers, and I'm not sure if they represent lawyers or they represent themselves. You know, the people I think represent themselves are pretty clear about it, and the people that represent that tell their interests are very clear about it. The people that just act like they just got a super interest in it, that are engineers, I don't find their interest to be, I just find it odd because it takes a lot of energy, and some of the questions they're asking seem more like it would be the attorney wanting to know what's going on more so than the engineer. Specifically, some of them are it's a few forensic people have reached out to me, and I find that you know, I don't mind helping you, but it would be nice for you to hit the PayPal account instead of just asking me for data on this stuff. Hit my PayPal account. I can buy better software, etc. Do that and then be plain about your question. Be very clear about it. Let me look at a comment here. Comments. Okay. So I got to read this. Yeah. Okay. So I just want to say back here that there's the planter box. It is level. The planter box, as we know, is outside that a porch area. We're going to get to, I'm going to scrub. I said I would get to my images. So now I'm going to scrub my images for you. Okay. So now we come into here. And take notice of the drape. There is wire underneath that drape. Huh. There is a separation here. Remember, that means a tension took place. For tension to take place, either this had to flop over, fall down, and put tension to open it up, or this dropped first, creating the tension, and then this was secondarily. Oh, wait a minute. That puts it over here by the pool area, which puts it in line with M, and not the construction joint. So in line with M gives us a direct one-to-one tugging on our favorite model there. So we have M there, and then in line with M is a column out here. This column here lines up with the parking garage. These punk shears, I want you to take note of the reinforcement again. The reinforcement on the heads. Let's see if I can zoom in on that one. All right, see the pixelation? That's the shape of the rebar there. I'm going to talk to you about pixelation. Let's just pixelate first. So they're just light and dark pixels, and the camera picks up RGB relating to light and dark pixels. Some of them overlap, as you can see right here, how a pixel in photography overlaps, and they fade to a different color. Some of them are quite clear on what they want to be. Right here, this color seems to be all solid, for example. Let's zoom out and see if we can maintain that location. So it appears to want to be a piece of concrete. We'll take it into pixelation. Oh, this presents as a column. As I go back out, you see where pixelation can work for you? Pixelating an image. So you can pixelate an image, and you can find which one of these pixels belong. Well, there's a pixel. That one's a solid piece, just pixelating. Okay. Oh, this is green. That's the shrubbery. Okay, so we know that, so we go as far as pixelating it. So this is going to matter because I'm going to show you what I did in the garage. I pixelated it. So backing out, so this is another thing there. We say, oh, okay, we're fading out to the stairs. It represents, looks like stairs, right? So let's go back in, or shadows, and they're consistent. So the lighting on this is consistent, and the depth on that is consistent. There's the pixelating. Oh, look, there are branches over top of this pixelation. So this fell, and then the branch is tucked itself underneath the branches. Oh, yep, there it is. So now you understand how to use pixelating to help you dive into an image. Here's two different colors of the column. Let's pixelate it. Let's use the pixelation to help us. Okay, so we've got different tones here. Possibly they parged over here. This one looks like regular. This is dimensionally not the same. Okay, so there's the shape of it. All right, so then we got some green here. Let's pixelate it. Okay, there's our green. There's our shrubbery. There's our shrubbery with some materials hidden into it, some light debris. And there's our flower box below, right there. And there's the edge of it. Let's go ahead and pixelate the edge. So I pixelate the edge, and there's some shrubbery hanging over it. But it appears to be about in the same plane, so I don't get an issue with that. We pixelate this column over here, and we see that, okay, we've got a lot of data in here, so a lot of junk over here mixing us up. A lot of debris with shadows and shades. Let's look at this section here. Okay, so that's the exposed top section tapering off, and a little shiny spot. Let's see what the shiny spot is. Yep, it's missing a piece of color there, and so that it's a different tone. Here's a pipe, or presents as a pipe. Okay, they're about the same configuration all the way down. It feathers off the same complexion on each side, if you will, the pixelations. Okay, so let's go to now the rebar. Let's pixelate this rebar. Okay, so that's what pixelated rebar looks like. Pixelated rebar right here. Do. Okay, fair enough. Zoom out. Yeah, let's zoom over here. This little, we get it just enough where it starts showing itself. Okay, that's rebar right here. Coming across, something's by it, and then here's another section of rebar. Zoom out. Yep, there's the rebar. Long piece. Going that direction. How do we get it that direction? Let's go in the garage here. Pixelated rebar. Very dark and very hard to pull out colors, but nevertheless, it's still pixelate showing the rebar. As you can see, the best it can do is kind of give it big chunks of pixels, merging them together. The tighter the pixels, the more data we can get. Okay. Oh. So here we have my break. My break is there upon M. M is our M. If we bypass this one, give me a second to look at my drawings there. Give me one moment. One moment. Okay, so the M column, I think that's it. Is that our 30? Can't make up the number. I can't make up the number on this. I believe this is our M. All right, so there we see that there's reinforcement inside here holding on to this area on the underside of it, not the top side. So that construction joint still is missing rebar, but they did place some at the bottom, incidentally. They did place it. Now this is that swimming detail I talked about, where we see the BMA roll down, and that's that one that we're going to find on the ground down there. Roll down. Out here was that porch area. A lot of people get this one confused with something else. It's okay. It's over there. There's a big void. Where's my void? Okay, so they cleaned up debris by then. The car's back here. They cleaned up some of that by then. All right, let's go to the next image. All right, so this image again, we have the materials across the face of it. This is daylight now. Some of the materials might have been pushed over by the firemen through the night. Incidentally, I will be badmouth the firemen at this point. Do you guys remember the bullhorn where they were screaming, "Find your way to the stairs! Find your way to the stairs!" With the bullhorns, the cops and the firemen using their bullhorns and their speakers over their police cars, and also over the fire trucks, where they were screaming that, telling people, screaming from the megaphones, telling them how to find their way out. Oh, right. They didn't do that. Instead, they told everybody, "Step back. We think the building's going to collapse." They see people with flashlights trying to wave at them and get their attention, but do you see them trying to assist those people, trying to tell them how to escape? No, they were more on standby, waiting for the building to collapse and then go from there, telling everybody to get back. Get back. That's what the body cam videos show. That's what's so critical here. But yet, 1 and 2 days later, they make themselves out, and you guys, a lot of you make them out as superheroes. Well, they didn't do the screaming for these people to help them get out of the building, telling them how to do it on megaphones or anything. They were more saying, worry about themselves, stay back. So everybody who claims that they're superheroes and all that, it wasn't until the next day that they decided, the daylight, that, the building seems stable enough, let's walk around and start messing around in there. You see the lift helping them out. It's pretty much daybreak almost, right? Or some of it is daybreak when they're helping them get out of the building. So it was many hours of stability of the building before they got their assistance. Now you could argue, they were getting equipment there. They had equipment to get there. They had a way to start screaming for people to try to find your way out any way you can. I didn't see it. That's my position. All right, now take note of this damn rebar here, right? This funky little shape of it. You see that funky shape? I need to jump to the data real quick. I need to just jump down to here and find it. Where is it? I need to jump to this one to get you going here. So that's the BMA. These are the floor numbers. This would be 9, 10, 11, 12. So who can live between 11 and 12, guys? Who can live between 9 and 10 or 10 and 11? Who can live between that surface? No one can, okay? So this was just a way to get funding and go from there. So I find that kind of nasty. Let's go to this one. There's the one I want to show you now. So I really enhanced that video. I took some liberty and removed some bars here. So bars are removed. This is the water. This is what everyone's calling the dryer, maybe a refrigerator, maybe a couch, whatever it is. But I want you to show, using the pixel trick, that there is, and maybe the people who live there can explain what had this shape. Now that floor it's not the floor shape, but more so, look in the background. Look at this shape. This spider shape. Now, unless they got some artwork that fell down, it looks like that, possibly. And it'd be pretty strong. This is a background change. Appears to, if I'm going to see a squiggly, crazy line like that, I'm going with reinforcement rebar. Okay, that's my bias. I'm also going to tell you that there are 2 levels here. This is the bottom, and there's the secondary level of decking on top. That's what I believe it presents as. This is one of our first renderings of removing the bars and doing a little bit of work back there and not bringing up the background yet, but bringing it up slowly, piece by piece. I start seeing this shape, what you guys call the washing machine, I believe. And I see this voids like that. Now, could it be an appliance? Well, did they have a white appliance in there? I don't know, and that seems pretty big for a backsplash appliance area. I don't know what this is. It's a very different shape. This, again, I believe is part of a slab, and that's a secondary slab. I believe this is a crack in the slab right here, showing a new fracture that while I was up there, it fractured, and the middle capacity from here to here, fracturing down the middle, pulling itself down, creating an end point, if you will. I'm taking some liberties on this with you guys. That's what the original looks like. And this is your washing machine again. And then I go backwards, come this way, and start enhancing, removing the bars only. When I do that, it takes pixels from the background and tries to replace them with what it thinks is the good share. I was mindful of not destroying this data here. because behind the bars it presents as this. Now the bars have their own little shape like this. So I got to be careful of that's not the bar. So there's the shape of the bars like this up here, and that bottom rail, and then these pickets are close and these are wider apart. So I took mostly the wider apart ones. Let's go back again. So you see there's no rail here. So I took mostly, So I took mostly the wider guys. Slowly start working on it, taking them apart, leaving the water in place. The water was my test. I know I'm doing good if I leave it in place. So this is where I believe we get like the deck butterflying from left to right inwards. This one I worked on the column there. This squiggly shape it goes up and looks like this, and then this one looks like a penis actually. But all right, so that's my brain. But there's that. There's what we would normally see, and let's see if I can get back to. I want to get back to how I wanted to. Is that one? No, I'll go a little deeper into it. It's about as far as I got into it with using that pixel technique, and we see this. This starts developing under the pixelation technique, and these round, consistent shapes with symmetrical shapes, which are very interesting. Maybe you guys will say, "Oh, that's a couch from one of you guys might know. Hey, that's a couch from IKEA. They have that shape, or that's that desktop, or that's a dresser. I know what kind of dresser that is," and you post it, and that's just data. It's great. Keep in mind that it did not make it, I believe, to here's this other header. So it did not make it to the laundry room, nor did it make it to the utility room. This break, I think it's in plane with that there. So shit, you guys gonna have to wait for this phone call. Hey Trevor, is it important? Can I get a few minutes?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yes sir, I'll do it. Thank you. Bye. All right, so I had to answer that one. So let me write my notes. Make sure I call them back. All right. So let's enlarge this one a little bit. Oh shit. Hope I didn't just remove something I need on the side of my desktop there. All right. So there's our. See the fracture there? That's there about M. Right here. That's there about on M. This is a construction joint. It's there about on M. Now back here is your flat pot. So we now get, and this is our rolling. See our rolling in? Rolling in. Of course, we got a building collapsed on it to help create some of that roll in. And there's our stresses here, the cracks, from that pulling moment there. No, can't do it. Can't do it. Come on. I need my own personal time sometimes, people. I'll get to the roof as part of the images. So there's our data. So now coming from this side, we again looking down here at this fracture here. This is where it took a moment, a rotation from there. This fracture right here. I've been wanting to go through these images for some time with you. Just been holding out. We see the bow in the wall. That's right about where the planter box might have been connected, but there's now a bow rotation in. I can't get tighter than that without really ruining it. Let's see if I can do this. You see a slight bit of rebar crossing from this section to this section. You see our column and how it was on top. The planter boxes were on top of them, so the forces were going pretty damn good there. I believe you guys try to direct me to support of these, the support of these. How did they support themselves? Did they put a load on the distress on the deck? Yes, but in different capacity. They isolated the load and directed it down through the deck, I believe, as they're there. And the data, as you see right in front of you, literally tells you that there's no fracture upon this system. The railing and all this acted as a strong back for it. It kept this straight during the entire collapse. In fact, it rotated and pushed rotated it off. When it went down, it rotated it off to the chose to the left or right. So it was able to hold its load from this column to where it connects. Now, getting to the one engineer that likes me to come back to this wall, I could biasly say that, well, if that's a load point, that becomes a load point. The opposite end of this is a load point because this appears to be acting like a beam, the way it's held together. And depending on how much contact it had on with the deck, it still, when it failed, it shows it was acting as a beam all along. That it was never really acting as a dead load, just per se. That it shows it acted like a beam, and that's because we don't see the breaks in it. At least I have not determined the breaks in it. That's just kind of critical. It puts a load point out here, which gives us even more stresses on that wall for that. So I'm not giving up on your existence, and that's code talk right now. Existence. I'm talking to the engineer of this around here. So I'm not giving up on it. And this is the point of fracture. But I have that would also be telling also it means that this steel held, and this is where our rotation point happened. I talked about the jealous wall back here, and this being the jealous wall, not getting enough attention. So there is more of our plane here to here. I'd like to know what's going on behind the shrubbery. I really would. But it's a butt part. This still goes out to. This will still go out to where it goes. Now this again, see that? That's on top of the construction joint. We saw that. Let's go back there. So that's on top of the construction joint right here. Wait a minute. It's on top of the construction joint. Oh, that's over to the right. That pushes it over. We'll investigate that in another video. I'll get to it. I just like, you know how I play. I'm letting you guys try to have a little fun. I'm sorry, this it's right here. And then I was off by one. This is over top of the construction joint. Wait a minute. We need to look at that in a little more detail. That's the head. Construction joint. Wait a minute. I'm gonna get you another video so I can help you out a little better before I play games like that. Hold on. Let's get back to this one. Again, I want to leave out a piece of data in here because, frankly, I don't want to give away anything for free. No, you can contact me all you want. You can ask for my help. But, hit the PayPal account. Let's hit the roof here. Here's the roofing materials. There are little connections they were working on. They're anchors. It's scatterbrained everywhere here on top of this roof. Apparently, there's a lot of standing water on this roof. A lot of standing water. There's the more rolled hot tar type material. No. So they were not done with the repairs up here. This is still materials up here. I don't think this was abandoned. I mean, possibly the guy could have paid him. The place could have paid for all of them. They were like, you know what? We can't take them off the job site because they paid for them, and we're so honest that we don't want to be considered theft. But wait a minute, what do we have here? A ladder. The hell you need a ladder and you're on top of the roof for? They used a ladder to climb down and work down here, hang from the roof from a ladder. There's a scupper, guys. Well, they said they reserved no scuppers. There's one. So they used a ladder and they hook it and they climb down. I'm having fun, guys. You know I can't help it. So the ladder is, there's a ladder. The ladder is to climb up here and work on the upper level. And there's the ladder, and there's another ladder to go from there to there. And they didn't want it to fall down, obviously, so they take it down, lay it down here, and when they need it, they come back up to make it to the next level. So that they were still working on that roof. All right, that's that. Now, the property next door, money-wise, you're watching this video, you need to jump on selling antennas. They need antennas here. That's good money there. So they got antennas on there. You need to jump on that contract. That's probably $100,000 or more a year. Yes, please cut me in on hit my PayPal on that if you make money off of it, please. And you can make a residual. I'm okay with that. So someone said that I already blocked. There are no steps there. Yeah, I blocked you for that. I don't have time for. You can say that I don't think there's steps, but when you say stuff like there are no steps there, you're gaslighting. And so if you're going to try to gaslight me, I'm just going to block you. I don't have time for it. Goodbye. I don't ever need to see you again. So you've been blocked just for that one comment. You got to learn how to communicate, and if you're doing that, I catch on that you really aren't supportive of me. You're just being trying to give negative data. But look, you got it out there. But there's a step there. You step from here up to here, approximately 7 inches, I believe. You can see here now the planer box is there pond level, and then it starts taking our dive down. Of course, that's where the building crushed on it. So we'll give a pass on that. That's a puncturing shear, probably because the building collapsed on it. So if that's the case, we'll stop our failure, our initial failure here at the construction joint, and we'll make it even with this structure, with this face. We got to face it right about to there, and some materials behind it. And so I would say they would intersect at least right there. To be fair, the construction joint went right to the face of the wall, which I show in my video, and then stops. So that I think is fair for me to say at this time. More data presents, I'll change my position. That's me showing the swooping effect of it. So it was I have it at least going up to that wall, and then the rest of the collapse, puncturing, shearing, all this material appears, the collapsing of this heavier loads on top of it this way. These heavier loads, this already had equilibrium, probably didn't press it down too much more. And going up in the content, again, you see the flower pots. You see the flower pots. I keep going back to this. You know I got a breadcrumb in the damn flower pots, guys. Grab the damn breadcrumb. All right, you see the flower pots. You know I've given it to you like 1,000,000 times with my breadcrumbs. I give it to you multiple ways for you to try to see it. Flower pot. Zooming in. Oh, and they're leaving empty cans up there. Zooming in. Flower pot. I call this the alley now. I named this the alley. So this is the butterfly. And again, butterflies from a roof. A butterfly roof looks like this, and they allow the drainage in the middle. And so I coined the term butterfly puncturing because of the way it's shaped, up and down. Now, how is it that this, I guess I'll just give away a little bit more. I want you to think about this. I want to give a breadcrumb first so you can guess it before I say it. Okay, the breadcrumb is elevation. That's the breadcrumb. Elevation. What is the elevation of the top of this box compared to, which one am I going to reach for, guys? To the top of this box. And are they the same in did this have one extra block on top of it when it was built compared to this one? I want you to think about that. Look at this box. Look at this box. All right, I'm going to give a bigger tip. Now I'm going to put the tip in. Here we go, just the tip, nothing else. That didn't work. This one work. Just the tip. I'm going to take a little liberty here. I'm going to guess that's the plane of the flower box that's here. And then I'm going to add you this one. Right to the edge of the flower box. Right, so right here is when I'm tightening it up a little bit. Right to the edge. Right to the edge of it. Okay, that's one image, right? So that doesn't mean they're all. Now watch this. So I delete that. Wait a minute. What do we have here? there's the flowers, they're the planters. That is still square. It's something right there for you. Okay. There we go. I'm done. I'm done. You notice the sausage underneath the flower box out here. The sausage is underneath the flower box. How did the sausage get underneath of it? Did it slide under? We don't have sliding, do we? So how did the sausage get underneath the flower box? It appears to have no flower box material below it. How it is the sausage below the flower box? Here's the flowers up here. So here are your flowers over here. Your planter box is here. This planter box is what? Rotated slightly. Rotated slightly and down into the alley, I call it now. Let's move on. Let's stack it up. Trying to move on, it won't let me move the image. It won't let me, There we go. So now we have another flower box, this one here. This is a shift off the flower boxes. Look, you can see down the block wall now. We can see down the block wall. Very interesting. We can't see down the block wall over here, but we can see it over here. So we have a rotation, don't we? We have a fracture here. Get this fracture. Get that fracture line. Fracture line. Right here. See it? See the fracture line? Fracture line. Over to there. Fracture line. All the way back to this side. And there's our separation. A huge separation from the column there. A huge separation from the column. One of our biggest. And then here's our fracture line. Now, what came first, the chicken or the egg? There's another piece of material that collapsed on the deck right here. Does it have a fracture line? Where's its fracture line? Past this or that way? I mean, it was hugely impacted. Oh, look. It hit the top of this head. There it is here. Appears to have been decelerated by here. And when it did that, it smashed down onto the deck. Disintegrated to some degree. This is probably the parapet wall, I'm guessing. Now, let's go to this one. There's one of those heads, weird ass heads, drive me crazy. I have a red piece of material that I want to show you. If I don't forget, a red piece of material. Look at these ears. These ears are on the deck. These ears are turned this way. These ears have never seen a lot of love like they've never seen before. These ears appear to be presented down. These ears presented up and released. The deck gave way pretty high. Pretty high, the deck gave way. Remember how I talked about this deck? How it, I'm going to mess this up. Maybe I didn't. How if you put that steel real high up here like this, it only has to fracture that little bit there as this pulls down. As this part pulls down. It's not much to fracture it. But as it goes down, you see how it goes down through that metal? As it comes down, it bends it over. But some of it fractures a lot easier, and the ears kind of stay configured high. The deck head comes off, all the material that's on top of this deck. Remember, it still had about 8 inches of deck on top. Well, so I'm guessing about 4 on top, so about 9.5, so about 5 inches of concrete on top of here that's also gone. But these ears, they're still there. There's some rebar across it. This deck released. If I could rotate this, we would see it. It released pretty quick on this side. It fractured pretty givingly, pretty willingly, even though there's a column pretty close to it. Doom, 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 doom. We're adding it up, guys. You're adding it up. You're stacking. You're data stacking. You're getting it. You're going to get it. You're going to get it. I haven't let you down yet, right? I'm going to get you to the next level. Where's my... Oh. For some reason I think this is acting up. So these ears indicate that the deck let go soon. Punch shearing on this side, bending it way down. Shear plane, holding on this side from approximately here to the deck. So approximately here to here, we get our materials that want to act kind of in the same plane. But we gotta add our snake here. Our little snaky snake. Go right about there somewhere. We've got to add a little snake in the grass there. A little snake in the ground. Snake in the ground. Now, this is not rotated away from us, is it? This thing here. This is right here is where the porch would be. Right? The porch of this property. This is up here at this level. This shows that it did not drop 10 feet or 8 feet, 11 foot, 10 inches. It's only dropped just a little bit, So something's holding it on. Remember the dive down of the transfer slab and then back up, and then on this side it goes back into the building, existing building. So the existing building is still holding on over here, underneath of here. This would be the existing structure. Let's do that again. Let me just take some liberty here. I'm going to go slightly down. And then I'm going to come up like that. And I'm going to clean this up a bit. So let's clean this up. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. And even this one. And so here's our flower pot. Our flower pots are somewhere about. Let's put some stress there, right? This flower pots. Let's put some stress there, where it's down to some degree. We'll get to that. Let's see if I can close out this one. I'll press save and I'll move on. Now that's work related, but you know what? I'm doing a video for you guys. I would rather lose money and present a video to you guys and do that. I can't stop the video now, right? Okay. So now let's data stack again. And now we have this fracture here. You're adding it. We have reinforcement underneath that's pulled away from this joint. It's a tension or compressive break right here, right? You tell me. We have this guy coming across, but it hit the top of his head and fractured by chance. We have a much larger separation here, right? But we also got that fracture. We have that fracture. That fracture is very important. I'm holding out on the fracture for you guys for a little bit. I want you to tell me about the fracture. I told you about this fracture over here. I told you about the punk shearing here. We looked at the heads. Can I see the heads in this one? No. This is part of the interesting. It's part of something on the penthouse, one of the walls that impaled itself. This is more that one again with the rebar up, right? rebar up, rebar up. So when this building collapsed, did this structure to the right, did it take out the secondary impact, take out the other half of this deck on this side? When this building collapsed, was this already existing and this collapsed? There's your thing, because we have the flower pots level. So we have the tugging. We have the reverse flip inside failure from the inside. This part of the deck is in plane. It exists. It exists out to, say, right about to there or to there. When this building collapses, the building to the right, it comes down. It takes out the rest of the deck. It takes out the rest of the deck, some of that elevated slab material over there, and it only takes it out to there. And then this planter box just has a little bit of a rotation downwards. This part of the structure, if they would have allowed us to see it, we probably would have seen these columns good to go over here. We're not allowed to see them because we're too ignorant. We're too ignorant to the ways, the powers that be. There's the rotating down, see it? And your flower pot is there upon there. The alley is created by this structure falling on it, and this gives you your dropping of this box into this new created center hole, if you will, right here. So we still get, when this collapses, nothing for free. We still get my first video where we get the tugging, we get the invert failure of the ledger inside the deck failing, pulling from that side, causing the collapse. Left goes pretty much straight down, collapsing upon itself, and make it no further than this flower pot. Right goes, this time it does make it this direction into the flower pot, creating the alley right here, which also drove down part of this deck over here, right here, hitting that, rotating it over into that 45. And in doing so, the lower part collapsing into it first, it rotated this flower pot up in the air, and whatever column this is, it made it down underneath the flower pot. This one consolidated, coming from this direction. See, it came from there. It was from there initially, if we can see, and did a rotation, a turn coming this way. How the hell did it turn and come this way? Because remember, they were like a stack of cards intermixing with each other. I could probably spend forever trying to figure out which one this is, which face column this is. I think it's a face one. It's only connected on the three sides, and you would see where we're intermixed. And maybe it smashed into this one. Maybe these two had an elastic collision. That one went that direction, and this one turned and elastically bounced back in this direction, because I don't see where anything rotated it at that point. So my guess, it got rotated at a higher point, fractured. It had a moment, a bending moment down here, a redirect in this direction, and then it wound up on top of all things, on top of the roof. So it stood longer, or at least in that direction, as the stack of cards rotated, as a deck of cards shuffled themselves. All right. So I hope this is a little more, this is my BMH, I hope this is a little more data for you. This is how it would look. I said step down. The person said, there's no step there. It steps down from here to here, and this is why they got blocked. I don't have time for it. I'm not getting paid for this. I love you guys giving me, the donations. I don't disrespect you guys at all when I say I don't get paid for it. You guys appreciate your donation. It will go towards software. But when someone comes in like that, I'm not getting paid to put up with that shit. I answer a lot of questions, but I don't tolerate, just people just with that type of attitude. You can just go somewhere else and get it from somewhere else. Just get off my channel. I don't need to see you. Go somewhere else and learn. There's a camera right there, very clear camera pumping out there. Ankle deep water. We already went over that one. There's our joint. When I said niche, you don't have to bother. This is the one I took a screenshot of, saying I had to come back to that. Yeah, plenty of deteriorated, rusting rebar. I have to take measurements of it, see how much it was. There's no paste on it, that's for sure. So it's kind of it's an odd duck of piles of stuff. All right, but they're going with the punching shear, and this is that. It's now been removed. That's right. They got equipment out here now. They got equipment out here. Because right about here we would see, right, oh, back there's a trash can, right? Right about there we would see the block, exposed block. They're just slab thicknesses. I want to go over this to help out. This is the, let's see, yeah, let me see. All right. So this is our M. I believe this is M right here. If I'm wrong, kill me. This is M. Let's look at M. M has 8 number 5s. 8 number 5s right here. The one next to it has 8 number 5. Oh, I'm sorry, 7 number 5s connecting right there in that direction. Between them are 12 4s. Between this one's 11 4s and 11 4s, right? The span appears to be about the same span from here to here. Between here and here, 12 4s. Okay, fair game. 16 5s, 16 5s, right? So it's going that direction. It's 5'6", 5'6". So it's pretty. The critical shear areas present as pretty balanced, right? We get out to here, and we get. Where's my change? So this is balanced. Hold on. There's an opening. Am I in the right place? Is this M? Damn it, why can't I even pull it around further? Oh, yeah, I think this is M right here. So this is M. I thought it was, what's going on? I know what's going on. Right up here, look at this. So we get 12 4s, 12 4s, 12 4s, 18 4s? Huh. So the distance appears to be same from here to here, but they're adding 18 4s. So where do they add the extra 6 4s at? 6 number 4s. How do they fit in there? If you divide them up equally, well then they won't splice with these. So if you splice them with these, then you have 6 extra bars to add. All right, let's go down here. This appears to be 4 feet, 4 feet. Critical. Oh, wait a minute. This one is 5 6 and 5 6. Wait a minute. This is 4 feet and 4 feet 11, right? So 5 6. You know, I just quickly round up. Sorry, guys. Wait a minute. This is 5 6 on this side. This is 4 foot 11. Huh. They designed these two differently. Two of them differently. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. So these are going to behave differently when a building's collapsing because this is more balanced with more steel than this side. This has a 4 foot 11 critical shear on this side. Coming over to the right a little bit, that's there about where a construction joint might be right about here. We have 11, and then we have 14s. Why did they make it shorter? The spans are actually a little bit greater, but they have 14 number 4s and 11 number 4s. How are they doing the splicings? Where do they add the extra 3 bars? How do they do it? Are they going from the critical shear area, then counting out the bars? Are they going right from the edge and then counting it out? Well that's interesting. Are they going from the edge, right there? So this would be 4 foot 11 from center line, and then you pick it up and come over. Well, I'm going to show you this in another drawing, but I'm just giving you hints of what's of the issues going on here. Here are 17 number 4s right here going out to the balcony, and then there's no balcony here, and we go to 13 number 4s. This is about where the failure happened, where we get that first collapse, that what I call the rotation happening, right about between here and here. I believe this is M, and that would be M, so that would be L. And we see now that the reinforcement, looking at the reinforcement, trying to figure out why they would behave differently. And with this flipping deal, I want to see failure happen here. And so I can find it also in the configuration of these columns a little bit, but more so in the configuration of the critical shear areas. the critical shear areas are not the same. This one's got 4'11". This one's got 5'6". This is a larger critical shear area. What about this one down here? 4'11", 5'4.5". So the critical shear area on this side is much larger than the critical shear on this side. Very interesting, isn't it? It's very interesting. Yet this is the one I'm saying that failed first. This side failed first, right? It failed first. Okay, so what would fail first? It would seem like this critical shear area would fail first. Doing failing first, so showing the opposite of my flipping, I would then put the load over here. So this would rip off of this number 4, this side first, flip down. Now I want to talk about 2 layers of, as you look into the garage area, let's talk about 2 layers there, not a single layer. And the banging thing. All right, so I think you're looking at 2 layers. And then you have your washing machine. Let's just call it a washing machine because everyone calls it a washing machine, right? So your washing machine. You put it however you want. But remember, it's got those weird holes in it, right? Infinity holes. So they're kind of weird there. I need to resolve that. And back here we have 1, 2, 3 pieces of weird reinforcement, representative reinforcement. And then we have, but it seems low down here. The angle seems low. But is it? Because remember, she's at 10'10". She's at 10 foot 10 inches. She's above that, in fact. 10'10" is the parking garage floor level at the front of that street. That's 10'10", baby. That's 10'10", baby. The deck is 11'10", baby. So the deck is up here. So when girlfriend films through here, right? She's filming up here, baby. She's filming, and when you're looking down here, I know we see part of this down here, right? And we see washing machine. We see washing machine, right? With the squigglies on it. But realize that she's looking like, when she films, she's up here. She's up here at 10 foot 10. Okay, so 10, 10. Our deck is 11 foot 10, 10. She's at 10, 10. And she's a little bit, she crouches down maybe or not. She's a little taller than that. But she's looking straight on through. Now, she does run into the portal area. The portal area, the cars go down. They have a portal area. Remember the column, the portal area looks like this, where you're looking down, where she's looking through it. So she's looking through it. Right here is that deck elevation of 13, right about there, 13 foot 4 inches, the underside of it, and an 8-inch deck. So she's looking somewhere near about just under 12 feet. So when we see that crazy squiggly stuff, and we look at it, I believe we're looking at this one right here. I believe we're looking at this one with the BMH right here failed, and we're seeing the bars sticking out ×3. I can't verify it, but I want to give you this content here. So we're looking through. Ooh. So let's go back to that picture. I said, ooh, because I might have to move it up here, right? There's no BMH there, right? I don't see it in this image. Hold on. Let me save this image and move on. Where are you? Ooh. Yes, it's a ton of images I wanted to go through with you. Okay. Yeah, there's no beam across there. So I'm way out here with the BMH. That she BMH or BMA. I'm out here with that when she's peeking down that hole. Okay, so I'm up at 928. Let me go down to that image, that crazy image that I told you I worked on. So I did the planter box thing for you. Okay. There's your rebar. That didn't work out. Right here. Remember, she's up high. That's the deck right there. This is 13.4 minus the ceiling. So somewhere about 12 foot. She's here. And right about here, does that BMH go down that far? I think that's reaching on my part. That's pretty far down. And we don't have a buckling point where we drop down that far. I don't have it that far. It's almost equal with the top of this pad. I got to think of compression when you use a camera. It's just crazy what compression can do, guys. It really is crazy. Hitchcock did it a lot in his movies. All right. With that said, I'm not going to give you the rest of the stuff besides showing you. I'll go back down. We're going to jump back over here in another video, but I'm not going to go. I can't stack it forever. I'll overload you. I'll overwhelm your brain, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I'd search down here looking for that damn steel left and right, the connection. All right. So before I do that, let's look. You need this data. So compression and lens explain. Let's see if we can get an imagery of it. I show it with there. Yeah. So yeah, the 800 mil. It will just make the stuff drop off. Better here with this kid. This kid's awesome. This kid will be awesome. There's another one I used. Let me see something here. Probably the kid. Because I'm guessing the kid. Right, let's see. No. So she looks like she's on the pyramids and she's way away from the pyramids. That would appear more like zoom to you if I did that one. This one, probably the kid would be the best one. So the kid at 24 millimeters, a lens, there he is right there, same position, not moving. And all of a sudden I use a 400 millimeter lens, and now it looks like this is on top of him. Looks like it's just right by his hand. Look where it is. Yeah, they took a different angle. It's pretty close. There's a wheelbarrow. That really represents compression. I can't even see the wheelbarrow here. Yeah, I can't even see the wheelbarrow. Let's see if we can see the wheelbarrow in the original. Oh, it's an image, a video. Not my intent, so let's get out of there. I'm out of there. Sorry, guy. You want to share your data like that. So you can go see them if you want. I don't see the wheelbarrow there, but that is a great example of compression. You zoom in, and something you thought was far away is right there, like you can turn and grab it. And reality is, 20 feet away, 20-something feet away from them. And yet now it looks like you can turn and drop it inside, toss it inside there. So that's compression. And when she zoomed in, she gave us compression issues with her photography. So that flip-flop thingy, I'm having real issues with it. It's going to happen whether you like it or not by zooming in by default. It's going to happen. You're going to get the compression. Things closer will have things that are not will be pressed up against them that are not there. Yes, I've been down here pretty damn hard. I've been down diving in this thing. I really have been trying to see if I can get this wall as our initiating point to get rid of a bias. I don't believe in not respecting my biases. I'm looking for a span, and all of a sudden it just spanned, made over there with some type of craziness. I don't see that happening. I looked at the rest of the structure. Yeah, it's flower pot. It seems like it's a deck, and then they put this on top of it, this block wall on top, and then they waterproofed it, and then they added the drains along with the shrubbery. So I don't get that this deck was not connected to the wall. I don't get that at all. There is no span like something you can drop coins down there into the cars below. I don't get that. Now, this fraction, I guess I'll peek into it a little bit for you. You see this part of the deck right here? Right here? All right, so that steel right here was here. That's where that steel was. That bursting, that dropping down, that moment of butterflying took place, the failure took place in reality way out here. Is where the moment was created that had this start fracturing this deck, where it tried to hold on. The deck dropped down a bit, and it pried this up from here. So it was a pry bar from here up. Well, I didn't mean to do that. All right, pried it up. So that as the deck went down, it tried to hold on to it. It fractured it from this point, and somewhere about here too, just so you know. And then this side, same thing. You know, right about there. Same thing there, and you'll get where the real moment was created, and then you get the 45s off of these guys. The beautiful 45s. They're in failures a lot of places, and we get it on the back side of here, the back side of that one. Okay, very important. Back side of this one. They're in line with each other. The loads are such that there are no loads behind it. And we're right there, and I'm ending the video. You know what? This video is ending. And it's going to be a real ending. Thanks for contributing, and you have some homework. I gave it to you in part of this video. Enjoy.